What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Now, if the only Funko Pop you're interested in owning is a Scareclaw card, I don't blame you. They're not for everybody. But the main reason I'm leading Market Watch with this is I keep forgetting to feature it. There's a New York Comic Con exclusive 5-headed dragon dropping over at GameStop and pre-orders are live. I do expect this one to sell out over time. While I'm not a financial advisor, I don't know the future of the Funko Pop market. There is a very deep market when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Funkos. Look at the box launch exclusive Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, this is by far a more iconic card, but it's just a metal paint variant, and auctions are going all the way up to the 170s, and buy it nows for the actual sealed one start at 300, I believe. Yeah, it's just insane. I remember when these were 125, 130 sealed, and then you have to try to get your t-shirt size specifically sometimes if you want to go for those. I got a bunch of these in XL when they dropped and even gave away a few on stream, but they continue to climb. And just like Starlights, whenever a line of them deepens, the Signer Dragons right now, people reach back, panic, and end up buying some of these. So this is getting super speculated right now, but there is a market for it. Summon Skull is dropping next. That's one I personally got to have, my favorite old school vanilla, and it looks great. So it does seem like Yu-Gi-Oh! Funkos are going to continue, and it is very interesting, and I think this is one of the better ones. Let's go ahead and get to the cards, though, starting with bonus bucks back on TCG for subscribers only. I'm gonna tell you something they don't want to hear. You can cancel your subscription after signing up for 1 month if that makes the sale worth it for you. You don't have to stay on that subscription. So anytime you see a sale and your cart ends up being worth going for the subscription, just go for the subscription then, right? And then cancel the subscription. A lot of people are complaining about that barrier to entry, but you don't have to keep up with it every single month. It's only worth it long term if you're spending an average of $240 or more a month. That is a lot of people who casually play multiple games or are dedicated TCG for life, but it's not worth it for everybody. So you can do that little trick. Sorry, TCG player. Looking through, though, there has been some crazy hype in the day. Now coming down a bit is the Flunderies spell, and calming down, a lot of them are still near 30, but check this out. The lowest was 35 at one point, and some sold at 35 to 40. Don't get sucked into overhype through the day, and often bonus bucks will wreck the market and then calm down over weeks, but today, sellers are very active, and we're seeing people competitively come in, try to underprice, try to get in there, and make those sales. But yeah, it will bump up some prices, including cards that we've recently been covering. I thought Tactical Masters would personally get hit very hard, but looking over, that's just not happening. Most prices are down. Runic Tip is down versus when I last looked at it. The Labyrinth Trap, despite the new Labyrinth cards, also down over time. I remember this was 20s. This was like 17 market price. Now you have a listing at 15, and Runic Fountain also coming down. And then the only one that's up over time, I think, is Ariana here towards 14. And yeah, the Trap Mommy slowly going up over time to around $4. I remember this being 3. So most things are actually, even the collector rares, slowly simmering in price, and the sealed has gone down a couple bucks. This is the set I thought would get hard focus today. It's been completely left alone. So whenever Market Man throws darts at the dartboard, he's not always right. Traptrix, however, got their structure deck reveal, and people seem to have forgotten that Sarah's up for a reprint in Mavens. Now, that will be an ultra rare, so it's a rarity downgrade, unless for some reason they put it in Pharaoh rare. But yeah, you've seen the wild ride and, you know, dipping back in price, slowing in hype, but there's the reveals. Oh my gosh, Traptrix, they're pretty darn cool, and people go and spike it back up in price. The smarter move is stuff like this that I respect, going for the max rarity version, knowing the structure deck will come out later, that people will go and grab hollowed out pieces. And while this is top rarity, it's only expensive because it's the only access version. If the new one comes out and it's $5, that would drag this down to maybe 12 max, maybe 8. Remember how far Ferris and Increase fell past what everybody thought they would thanks to having accessible versions. So yeah, not everyone's going to need to max rarity, and that will affect the price when we see the reprints. Egyptian God Slime is climbing pretty darn high in price right now, and it is a crazy one to watch. You only have two sellers here lower before it's all the way in the 80s to 90s. The good old Duelist pack didn't get a reprint, going up in price hype. I don't know that they'll be doing Legendary Duelist 4 after how bad the last couple Duelist packs flopped to where they discontinued the line. We'll have to wait and see, but this one, yeah, way too expensive for what it is, but you have the Megaton support that came out, that started the charge, and people are still going for it, I guess. Speed Duel DD Crow specifically is up. I don't know much about Speed Duel format. Let me know if this is worth playing over there, or if it's just, oh yeah, it's another version, because it's Ultra, and we have, you know, other Ultras like the Duel Devastator version, but quality control, yep. All of them are $8 plus, and it seems like a very hard focus right now on the Speed Duel one, so let me know in the comment section about Speed Duel format and if this does see any play over there. Branded in High Spirits. This is interesting because it has a common that is readily accessible, but the super rare is skyrocketing in price. It's pretty darn good to tech, and people have been looking at it. I have, I think, a playset of Glossies or something like that over on Master Duel of this card that I didn't decraft because I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I do feel like this was underestimated for a while, and here we see it just skyrocketing on up, and then sellers coming in under that still going, go ahead, take mine, knowing that the common is very cheap. But not everyone wants to play those commons. Some people will pay extra. The question is how much extra, supply and demand. This is just one that I missed going up this high. I've seen it go up over time. I called this as a penny stonk ages and ages ago, but look at this graph from the last 3 months. Now, the name is everything you want it to be. Performapal, Odd Eyes, Synchron, everything searchable in the world for a tuner pendulum. It's a pretty darn cool card, but I don't know specifically why this is spiking up in price right now, other than it's old. I think it only has one printing. Let's actually look at that. This is probably going to be bad search terms. Live editing done cheap. Performapal, Odd Eyes, Synchron. Let's see if anything else comes up besides that secret. No, it is the only copy it does seem. I missed some reprints and I make up others in my head that I think everything got gold letter rared in my head. So yeah, this seems to be the only access version, and let me know in the comment section down below why that might be. Elder Entity, it is now a $10 plus card. There's just so many cards dipping into the extra deck lately, and then you had Nadir Servant pull off the 3 Ultimate Slay hyping this from before, that this card is climbing and people want access to it. And yeah, even the Gold Series version has a market price above 10 at this point. But the Super from Megatons is up. Old promos, that's the word I'm looking for. Remember when they had promos? The fact there's so many copies of this in the world and it's this kind of price, kinda wild to see. Hey, Konami, promos can eventually become money again, especially if you debut one as a promo. Remember Nibiru? I remember Nibiru. Speaking of Megatons, I wanted to end this video on what I personally would be going after on bonus bucks back, which is mostly penny stonks, although I do like Secret Rare Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, seeing the sales rate of Ash Blossom Common. So I'm pretty certain that Ash Blossom Common's price just isn't going to last low, because look at how it is immediately blowing out sales rates from the last couple of days. These are all within the last 3 days here. So if you just want access to a version, I would get Ash Blossom Common sooner than later. Who knows Konami's plans for reprints, but it could be very well like 2 years and they hope to cash back in, or maybe the next structure deck. New effect veiler, Konami, please? But with that being said, the Prismatic Secret Rare will have the most standing power. It's above the ultra rares, yet it's come down in price, as have a lot of Megatons. So what I'm looking at for in here is long-term potential versus reprint equations. Cross out Designator. Think of all the ban list hype for Max C, how it's actually naturally floated into formats before. I like cross out with it coming down in price slowly, as are a lot of cards in the 10s, but I also like the Prismatic Secret Ghost Girls. I think they're no-brainers. Ogre floats back into formats at times. Bell floats back into the format formats, and these are going to be the second to third nicest versions of these cards versus Ultimate Rares, argued versus the OG Secret Rares for looks. So Bell and Ogre being around 250, these could be 5 to 6 solid over time. And Lord of the Heavenly Prison, remember Inspector Border and how that started out super low and it's needed in a ton of stun decks, sees play, and goes up over time? I do think Lord of the Heavenly Prison will emulate that. For other cards like Nibiru and Dark Ruler no more, I would more so get the nicer versions that are still cheaper out there, but there's still very good pickups at their price points. And going to the second page, just original God card support to the 10s. I could see this going up over time. They'll likely sell better on Amazon than other platforms for a while, and then dry up on other platforms unless they got reprints. Cards original to the 10s that are, you know, around the DM era, stuff like this, tend to do pretty well for themselves over time. But again, always do your own research. Make sure that, you know, you don't buy too many of a card. Like, you're maximizing profit versus risk. Just don't buy a collectible you would be mad being stuck with at the end of the day, right? Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you think about everything, including the Funko Pops. But there's just so many moving pieces right now, and it's been a ride this week, especially for the market. It's crazy.